Hey there, fellow marketers. Professor Wolters here, and today we're here in New Orleans, Louisiana. And today we're going to talk about is kind of a more in-depth dive into vendor analysis. Because when you're in B2B marketing, you're going to have a lot of different suppliers. I mean, think about it. Looking down here, there's multiple, steamboats I can go take a tour on the Mississippi River on. How do I decide which one's going to be best? And the thing is, when we're making our criteria, we'll have what tour is the fastest, which one has the most alcohol in their bar or whatever. You have these different criteria out there that you're trying to choose from. But the thing is, we don't always choose the best product when we're looking for our suppliers. There's a lot of other factors that kind of come into our vendor or supplier selection, because not every single purchasing criteria is the same. Because you may have that, look, we need to do the cheapest thing, but do you always go to the cheapest restaurant? No, sometimes I go up a little bit, or sometimes I go down. There's going to be other influences. Time might be something there, where the store is and things like that. That same thing happens in B2B. And the thing is, what we start to look at is we have to realize that choosing the supplier is just as important as choosing the product you're going to be buying. Because think about it, if you got a supplier that's not reliable, well, if I don't know if the ham is going to get there for my sandwich in time to make a ham sandwich, all I'm selling are cheese sandwiches. Well, that's not what people want when they're here, right? You want to think about those things. Because as you're going to have a lot of similar bids, reliability is going to become a very, very important kind of thing. Who can consistently deliver these things for me? It's kind of like when you're looking at restaurants, okay? When you're looking to go to a restaurant, if you're really hungry, you go for the old reliable. I'm hitting up my Culver's and get my double burger cheese because you know what? I know it's going to deliver on me. I can't take a chance. I'm not going to get satisfied. But if I'm like, I'm not that hungry, I just want to go have a bite, I'll try something new. You're willing to check something out that might not be as good. Like, I guess that wasn't as good as going to Culver's. You have these kind of differences you got to think about, because a lot of that's going to be based on previous experience, okay? You want to think about all the restaurants you've gone to. Doesn't it influence where you're going to go to next? It works the same thing with your suppliers. Hey, we've worked with them before. Was it a good experience or a bad experience? And that's going to influence us and our decision. And as a supplier, that's why it's really important to become a preferred supplier, one that has become kind of like okayed by the company so people can work with you all the time because they trust you. Because there are other things you have to think about, like personal and organizational factors that suppliers might not know about. So if you don't know that, the president of the company's kids go to school at Tulane, that it might influence them that they want to have more business meetings here in New Orleans versus Vegas, because then they can double dip, do business and see my kids at school. I mean, it sounds silly, but think about it. Why would you put, let's say you put your headquarters in Rio instead of Sao Paulo in Brazil? Because I want to be on the beach versus be in Sao Paulo, which is not a beach town. There's going to be all these little alternative motives that you got to think about. Because the thing is, you might not know all these things. That's why the relationship is really important, so you can understand the risk levels that are important for these companies, the personnel decisions that are important to these companies, all these kind of things. You might learn about the suppliers, so you as a vendor know, I need to tailor this offering so it not only is the best product for them, but it's the best situation for them, okay? And that's why it's important is after you do business with vendors, you want to make sure you evaluate and assess your vendor's performance, okay? Did they deliver what they said they were going to do? Was it on time? Did they do it within cost? All this kind of stuff you want to keep track of, because you'd be surprised how quickly people cycle through organizations or cycle through positions, because the person that's picking the convention for 2020 might be the different person that pictures the convention for 2025, right? And so they might not know that, when we did it in New Orleans that year, we had a different experience. Maybe we want to do it someplace else. So for not writing these things down, making notes about this, we might make the same bad decision or the same good decision. That's why you want it there. Okay, I assessed this supplier. It was a great time. New Orleans was a great place for our convention. Everybody had a great time back in 2020. Everybody got to do stuff. There's a lot of flights in there. There's a lot of things to do. The convention site worked great. So we know that this could be a place to go to again versus other situations. So you want to kind of think about those things, because they will all have an influence on your supplier selection. So I hope this helped you understand better about supplier or vendor selection and analysis, so you can make the right choice when you're looking for a supplier for your business. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and bye from New Orleans.